afternoon, amigos, from Mexico City, and more specifically, Parque Delta. Today we are going to a luxury VIP movie theater. I have yet to see a movie in Mexico, period, in the last 2 years. Not a huge moviegoer here, but we are really excited to share the VIP movie experience with you guys, as well as a very luxurious, very lush mall, if you will. When we first moved to Vallarta, we assumed sort of that malls and things like that were for foreigners, tourists, perhaps just visitors, but I think the longer we've spent in Mexico, particularly in Mexico City, we've learned that Mexicans can shop.
So we can't really show too much of the mall because, believe it or not, last time we were here we tried to make a whole video about Parque Delta and we were kindly asked not to. But this mall is not even a luxury mall for Mexico City standards, and maybe some of this, what we're talking about, is more of a Chilango thing, more of a Mexico City thing, but they have some really nice stuff here. And I know this sounds dumb, it doesn't need to be said to some of our Mexicanos amigos, but unfortunately with the negative reputation that Mexico has, it'd be extremely surprising to a lot of visitors coming to Mexico how nice the Liverpools are, Palacio de Hierro. Just a normal mall in Mexico is nicer than any mall that we have been to in the States.
I think one thing that makes this mall seem very nice to us,
or really all malls, I think, in Mexico City.
All malls. I especially like this mall because it has Old Navy, if I'm being selfish, but I'm going to look this way and mention a couple of more brands that are in this mall. Olive Garden, Dairy Queen, Victoria's Secret, Express, Red Lobster, Aeromexico, Bath & Body Works, Steve Madden, Old Navy, American Eagle, P.F. Chang's, Sephora, Chili's, Cheesecake Factory, H&M, Sphera, Adidas, Levi's, Sbarro. What more could you want for pizza? I think this mall, and all malls, like Greg said, just has really great brands available.
And I think that's like one of the funniest things to me is just with the negative perception of Mexico. Not only that it's wrong, but how wrong it is, and how like almost out of place we feel sometimes in Mexico City because we don't really buy nice brand clothes. I have like 3 shirts. You see this one in every other video. So it's just one thing that just really makes me laugh, because not only is that stereotype wrong, but it is just wrong in the completely wrong direction, or other direction rather. Now, with that said, we have some Which Wich. That might be our favorite part of Parque Delta. We're gonna eat our Which Wich and then get ready for our movie going experience. Because we've made it, we're coming into the theater.
Guys, I've never seen a theater this big.
We don't get out much.
Look at him.
Okay, I know you don't get out much, but it's a pretty nice theater.
Como ETN.
And we didn't even choose the VIP option.
No, we're at the plain Jane version, 150 pesos for 2 tickets on a Wednesday. I think that's a special.
Tuesdays is 2 for 1 here.
Tuesdays is 2 for 1, so 150 pesos is $7 or $8-ish for 2 tickets. So
yeah.
They have like waiting areas here and like leather chairs and stuff. Is this what movie theaters are like these days? I haven't been in
I think
years.
so. I think we've been gone from the States for so long that we remember theaters from like when Titanic came out.
They were 50 cents and your feet stuck to the floor.
I think one reason this topic is so important, or at least to me that is so important, is because in the States, unfortunately, most of the news we hear about Mexico or South or Central America is coming from news about immigration. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people that are fleeing north of the border, fleeing to the United States, Canada, to other countries because of a lot of different issues dealing with poverty, the government, insecurity, or not insecurity, that's more translated from Spanish into English, but not being safety issues, and we don't really. So I think as United Statesian, a lot of people unfortunately believe that like all of Mexico, all of Honduras, all of Guatemala, we can only speak for Mexico, but all of Mexico is poor. Every Mexican wants to move to the United States. Mexicans don't go to nice movie theaters. They don't have nice things. I think that's unfortunately kind of the story we're fed, or the news that is showed to us with some of the immigration stuff going on. So that's, I don't know, that's really the reason we think that a topic like this, something as silly as going to the movie theater, is actually more important. Now, it's time to get to the movie. We'll tell you how it is. You chose the absolute best seats.
I'm ready.
They aren't joking around with movie theaters here in Mexico, eh?
Yeah, good for the posture.
That's good for your scoliosis, huh?
Yeah.
And your tailbone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
how was your first Mexico movie going experience?
I stayed awake for the whole thing.
That's pretty impressive. So we saw Ready Player One. I forgot to say that earlier.
Yeah, Ready Player One. It was really good.
You don't even really like movies. How would you rate it?
It was pretty good. I really liked the movie theater. They had like fancy speakers everywhere. I think that it's like the upgrade from the regular theater. It was a little loud for my Meemaw ears. But it was a really good movie. I thought it was a good movie to see with enhanced sound because it was very actiony.
This is the latest we've stayed up in a long time as well.
Yeah.
Well, this whole time we were excited for Dairy Queen.
I can go under that gate.
She can fit. I don't know if I can.
Excuse me.
It's another important thing to know about Mexico. They love their ice cream, and well, we're just trying to be like the locals. Except for they don't walk like that. Okay, we have made it home. I can barely keep my eyes open. It's only 9:57 p.m., but this is a good 2 hours past our bedtime. We had a lot of fun at the movies. It was good for Hillary and I to do something a little bit different. Obviously, it's not like a really touristy thing, but I think it's a good way to kind of get a perspective into normal, quote-unquote normal day-to-day life here in Mexico City. Last point or tip, or not a tip, a thing we noticed about the movie is they have a ton of movies offered in English here, and I found that very interesting, and most of the people watching the movie appeared to be Mexican, or at least they didn't look like super gringos. I didn't hear anybody speaking English, and it just really made me think about how in the States you hear some people complaining about having to hear Spanish, or there being Spanish on products, or just hearing Spanish in their life in Texas. And I find that really funny now because there's so much more English here in Mexico than there is Spanish in Texas. There's, at least that I know of, there wasn't any Mexican, I almost said Mexican options, Spanish language option movies when you went to the theaters in Texas. And here there's English options and no one's really complaining about it or making a big fuss about it. So I don't know, I found it an interesting thought, if you will. But that is all we have for today. Hopefully you enjoyed our perspective into a mall / movie theater / closed Dairy Queen in today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, click the bell so you get notified
every single time
we upload a new video, and we will see you mañana.
Mañana.